All right, so right now, I'm working on the swing arm bolt. I put some heat on it, and we're just tapping it back and forth. They're froze up inside the collars that go in the swing arm, and it's just a pain in the butt to get them out. So a lot of patience, a lot of heat, a lot of work. I bet I swung that hammer probably 400 times before I got it out. So just keep turning it, keep putting heat on it, keep soaking it in PB Blaster, and eventually, if you're patient enough, they'll come out. So ultimately, I've decided that I'm going to try and cut the left-hand side off. You can get to it pretty easy with I took the shock off and let the swing arm down as far as it would go. And it gave me enough room. Thought I could get in there with the Sawzall. It just wouldn't bite on it good enough, even with a fresh metal blade. So I fought with that for just a little bit, and then ultimately, you'll see in the video, I was able to get a grinder in there, and I would grind a spot and then rotate the bolt, grind it, and I cut through it, and then that gave me a smaller project to work on rather than trying to get the whole bolt out of it. So at this point, I realized the Sawzall is just not going to cut it, so back to heating it and trying to beat on it is what led me to eventually end up deciding to cut it. Was I did get it to move far enough so that the threaded end of the bolt where the nut goes was flush with the frame, and I just didn't have any more to beat on. And I couldn't hold anything in there good enough with my foot peg and whatnot to actually try and get it to move anymore. So I was kind of at a standstill with that part of it. I didn't realize that once I decided to go the grinder route and stuff and keep working, I didn't even realize that my GoPro had died or I had forgot to hit record on it or something. So this is going to pretty much end my battle with this swing arm bolt, and then we're going to jump forward to where I actually talk about getting it out and what I did there. So sorry I missed out on some of the video, but it takes a lot of patience and a lot of work and a lot of time, and then eventually they will come out. Alright, so we're back out in the garage late in the evening after work. It's been a couple of days since I've done any filming or anything on the project. It's kind of right where I left off in the last video, but I encountered, which I thought I probably would, a really frozen swing arm bolt. So after working on it a little bit, tapping it back and forth, I just couldn't get it to finally give up and start coming out. So I ended up cutting it in half on the stator side of the engine, on the left-hand side. Finally got that half of it out, and I've just gradually kind of worked on it, squirting some PB on it, putting some heat on it, tapping it back and forth and working with it and just being patient. The last stuck one I was not patient with. I messed with for about 10 minutes and put it on my trailer, took it to my uncle's house, and we cut the swing arm out of it with a plasma cutter. We cut both sides of the swing arm bolt. It took me longer to drive there than it did to cut it in half. So this time I had the bike too far apart to do that, so I was patient, worked with it, tapped on it, tapped it back and forth, used a whole bottle of PB Blaster on it, and I finally just got it drove out. So now we're back on track getting the engine out. It'll be out in probably 20 minutes, so I'm going to set you all up and let you watch and come along with me while we get it the rest of the way out. And then Monday and Tuesday, we're building a new engine.